Hello, survivors, and welcome to the Zombicide Fans Podcast, where we discuss and review all Zombicide games. I'm Ryan.
I'm Schmedley.
And I'm James.
And today we are joined by our special guest, Jason, who is, quote, just an average gamer. Hey, Jason, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome to have you. Okay, so today we'll be doing our review and discussion of the Zombicide 2nd Edition Kickstarter and expansions. And if you'd like to listen to our discussion about just the Zombicide 2nd Edition core game, head on back to that or those episodes. Quick reminder to our listeners, head on over to our website, zombicidefans.com, where there's a ton of amazing community-submitted content, custom missions, custom survivors, heroes, zombies, equipment, house rules, variants, templates, you name it, all kinds of goodies, free to use, free to sign up, and submit your custom stuff as well. You can also find links to our Discord and our Facebook group on the site and in the show notes. All right. James, what have you been up to lately?
So I have gone down the magical road of learning 3D sculpting. Thanks to Ryan and his inspiration, he's brought me down the path of learning a simple program called Tinkercad. And trust me, if I can learn this program, anybody can learn this program.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. This isn't an ad for Tinkercad, but it is free. And if you ever bought a game like, say, Zombicide 2nd Edition, and they didn't come with plastic tokens and you just wish that they had, well, guess what? With Tinkercad, it's pretty easy to learn to make your own. So if you have a 3D printer, or even better yet, have a friend with a 3D printer, then you can sculpt your own tokens and have them print them off and play with them. And you don't have to worry about going through secondary market and eBay prices and all that stuff or stuff that was never made. So if you ever had that dream deck holder that you were always wanting to play with, you can make it in Tinkercad, and I suggest that you do.
Yeah, it's yet another fun, I love this board gaming hobby because it's like got all kinds of hobbies built in, you know? Like my wife will shout out, it's like, oh, it looks like you're playing the organizing game right now. Whenever I get like a new game and I got it all laid out and I'm like, how do I organize this with all of its expansions? And like, how do I, what sleeves am I going to get and sleeve all the cards and all that kind of fun stuff? Yeah, it's yet another a great time to do some 3D modeling or what have you. Okay.
Yeah, and even for those of you who aren't think you're that into that kind of thing, I know even for me, just like I bought STLs for like organizers, and then I was like, well, I'd like to change it a little bit, and so I started messing around in Tinkercad and started to just adjust to make things the way I wanted them to be that made the most sense for my organization. And that's, in fact, 2nd edition is one of my better examples of that. I've tinkered around with files somebody else made that I bought on Etsy, just the STLs, and Tinkercad has been super helpful for that.
Yeah, and then beyond that, there's like Fusion 360, which is another free tool that's a little bit more advanced, and there's Blender, which is another tool that's very advanced and it's free. It's a lot more of a learning curve with Blender, but you could do a lot more with it, and it's better for like organic models and stuff and animation if you want to get into that too. Hey everybody, Editor Ryan here. Just popping in real quick to let you know that the show's been on a little bit of a hiatus lately. I've been stretching out edits as far as I can, and for better or for worse. Thank you for sticking around for this. It's just been hectic. It's been really crazy. The show is still going. There's no reason to worry. We don't plan on going anywhere. We have so many games and expansions and content to go through still for hopefully years and years to come. And so you're going to hear the news about the day of the announcement for Zombicide changing hands from CMOD to Asmodee. Might be going like, that is such old news now. And I'm sorry, it is. But I figured, you might want to hear our thoughts on it. So I've kept it in the edit. Moving forward, we might not have news in our podcast because of how behind everything is now. But yeah, so this news came out on June 10th, I think, or July 10th? June 10th. My goodness. And right now it's early September. When you hear this, it's going to be even later than that. So just wanted to give you that heads up. It might be a bit jarring to be like, why am I hearing months old news? So apologies for that. We're just kind of shifting the way we're doing things on the show. I just want to make sure this is all sustainable in the future so that we can keep bringing you this content. We love doing this. We love replaying, having the best excuse to play these games so we can talk about them. And we really want to get through all of the expansions for all of the Zombicides. And we might have a really fun and exciting new journey with the Asmodee stuff in the future. We will see. Yeah. So again, thanks for listening, and let's get back to the show. All right. So let's jump into the news. The very, very, very interesting news, just hot off the press today.
As we're recording.
Yeah, as of this day that we're recording, not this day in the future. Yeah, Asmodee acquires the Zombicide IP. So, like, take a deep breath, right? This is like, what is this? Oh, this is kind of scary. Could be kind of good. Could be kind of bad. Who knows? Who knows if this is great news
very
or it's
little
bad
about
news.
this right now. I'm sure in the future there's a lot more, but
yeah, the official press
we're going
release.
off very little.
The official press release is that Asmodee, global leader in the tabletop games industry, is today announcing the addition of the iconic Zombicide IP to its portfolio of owned IPs. I mean, that's kind of it. Like Thomas something, for the CEO of Asmodee, says we are proud the iconic Zombicide IP further strengthens our tabletop games portfolio and allows us to reinforce our presence in key geographies. Can't wait for the team to get to work at what's coming next for this fantastic IP.
And that's interesting. That kind of makes me wonder if this has been going on for a while, because there has been kind of like we've noted it before. There's been a bit of a drought in news for like what might happen next with Zombicide as of recent. So
yeah, it's interesting because I have Zombicide products with the Asmodee label on it already. Like I had to buy my No Rest for the Wicked secondhand, and it was distributed through Asmodee and has the logo on the box. It was the Italian version, but so they're clearly experienced in dealing with CMON products, and especially Zombicide.
Yeah, they've been a distributing partner with them for a number of years now. I'd say less than 5, I want to say. I don't know that for sure, but something like that. Yeah, so it's interesting because, we saw just a few weeks ago, press release and articles about CMON, having to let go a lot of their creative staff, but still promising to fulfill any existing projects. And it kind of seemed like it was attributing that move because of the tariffs. But now it's interesting, right? Because the plot sort of thickens, or the plot twist is happening, so it's like, it makes me wonder, was it really the tariffs, or did they, they saw it coming and they knew that was going to be a part of it? I kind of feel like it's the latter. Like, I kind of feel like it's part of the story. It's not strictly it. And that this deal has probably been underway for a while, I would guess. And also of note, CMON had sold their various IPs to other companies that they had announced just weeks ago, like Blood Rage is one of the big ones, and all the rest of them are escaping my brain though. Does anybody see any of that? Anybody remember what some of those other IPs that they mentioned?
Oh, like Ankh?
Oh yeah, Ankh. That's another one.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Was Rising Sun one of them?
Yeah, it was the Eric Lang trilogy. The whole thing, I think, won.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. But they haven't mentioned and there's like a lot. Oh yeah, starting to come to me.
Arcadia Quest ones, or those
Arcadia Quest, yeah, those are older now. So that was interesting. Yeah, but like Cthulhu Death May Die is one of the biggest ones right now that they haven't said anything about, and Massive Darkness. So it's interesting. I mean, maybe those games are considered done because they've had 3 big, gigantic Kickstarters already. Maybe they're done with those. Who knows? But I think that change, it can be scary, and I think a lot of people might feel concerned, like, oh my gosh, this is the death of Zombicide. This is over. It's over. It's gonna end. But based on this, like, I don't. We can only speculate, but I don't think that it's over, because they're kind of making a big deal. They've put effort into this press release, even though it's short. And there's a quote from the CEO about it. It wasn't like a quiet thing. They didn't
have a press release about like a lot of different news, and then this was one of the line items. You know, this had its own full press release. So I think that bodes well. I think for I'm more optimistic about where this IP is going.
Sure. Yeah, it seems like they're taking it seriously.
Yeah, obviously it's easy to fall into the, oh, woe is me, what's going to happen. But, keep in mind, companies even as big as Games Workshop, they had a very successful game called Blood Bowl years ago that they let go. And thanks to the fan community, they kept it alive for years until Games Workshop finally wisened up and said, hey, you know what? We can still make money off this game. And now there's, national-wide tournaments for this game. Thousands of people play this game. This isn't a game that's just going to go away. The fans will keep it alive, no matter how long it takes Asmodee to put out another product. And I just don't see why you would buy something like this and then not want to try and make money off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think? If we were so to think that somebody from Asmodee was listening to this humble podcast, what would we want them to know about Zombicide? I know there's a lot of reasons that the fans out there love Zombicide. There's a lot of ways you can really enjoy the Zombicide series. But what do you hope that Asmodee keeps alive within the Zombicide line?
So, and I think we can all agree, 100% of Zombicide fans, Invader needs a season 2. So that's what they need to know. That's what everybody wants. Invader season 2.
I don't know if you're joking or half joking. Or not at all joking, but yeah, I do agree.
I'm 100% serious.
Okay, yes, I do 100% agree too. I don't know if that's like the first order of business, but it feels like it's due, right?
I think it's the first order of business.
The Zombicide Invader, sub brand itself is very rich, and the game is great, and it definitely needs. It could use a refresh and an update mechanically. And it could use a lot more content because it's such a great IP. It's such a great world and story. I totally agree.
Yeah, for me, I think the two biggest things is an eye to backwards compatibility. I would hate to see them change the scale of the miniatures, the scale of the tiles. I don't care what next vision they see, whether it's sci-fi, pirates, whatever the next thing that they want to do is, that's fine by me. But as long as they don't decide all of a sudden this needs to be 45 millimeter scale or 15 millimeter scale, I'd hate to see that. And also for them to realize that, yes, this is a board game, but people don't see these miniatures as just straight up board game pieces, that they're pieces that need to still remain high quality, good to paint. If they started making these more into the more solid, undetailed plastic game pieces that you see in a lot of other board games, even though it might be more profitable, I would hate to see them go down that route.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to see is I'd like to see them lean into the fact that people want to use kind of crazy combinations. So like coming up with more card packs that allow more cross compatibility between games would be a great thing. Get miniatures more use in more of the different Zombicides. I think that'd be super fun.
Yeah, and
make Time Crash a whole series. There you go. Do
absolutely.
Crossover to all the rest.
Yeah, we were just talking about the last episode. Like everybody always wants more crossover stuff, but bring it on. And I'm glad you mentioned that, James, too. I wasn't thinking, but because that just seems automatic, because that's what Simon's always done, is made everything like, at least relatively or it was at least implied that this stuff could all be kind of mashed together, because everything stayed the same scale, the styling was the same, even with things staying within their own relative IP, sub IP or genre. But yeah, people have spent hundreds or even thousands of dollars on their Zombicide collections. Like, I really hope that they don't make a big, huge, whopping third edition that's so very different that you can't put anything together anymore. That would be sad. That would be such a shame. I can imagine a new company wants to come in and make it fresh, refresh and reliven the brand in whatever ways that a new company might want to do. I just hope that in any way that happens, that it's made to still be compatible with our good old stuff that we have, because, you know, it's just a great game that it's so accessible. And, you know, I'm sure that they'll keep it accessible. That I think that's right on brand with Asmodee. And, you know, but also you can get really deep into the weeds like we do here all the time with how, you know, just how deep we can get on strategy, on collecting, on, you know, furthering, you know, the sandbox into making the games custom and even more of what we want. So yeah, and please make a Star Wars Zombicide, or a Star, or like, gosh, I really hope that like it'd be interesting to see if they also get a Marvel and or a DC IP, so they can continue to make those games potentially, because there's still a lot of characters in those IPs.
That'd be cool.
That they could add.
I'm still waiting on my Blackest Night, so yeah, for DC.
Yeah. Anyway, here's hoping for the best for Zombicide, now part of Asmodee in the future, and hopefully, you know, it'll give us even more years of backlog that we could do on this podcast, because we're deep in and we still have a lot more to do. Oh yeah, quick PSA, everybody, please open and check all your Zombicide products. Make sure all of the components, especially the miniatures, or just everything really, that they're there, that they're not broken. You know, check that like each miniature, because James, what happened with your miniatures in Army of the Dead again?
Yeah, I had a missing survivor and a duplicate of another one.
Yeah, and I've seen that pop up online with other people too. So like you might look at the tray and be like, oh, all the miniatures are there, but you know, you might want to check each one. Just go and check like like a million pieces in all of your boxes. No, but like anything you got recently, I think that's kind of reasonable. I would just recommend, hey, PSA, check out your stuff, make sure it's all there, you know, and so you can get your components replaced or what have you, while you still can, you know, because who knows how things are going to change operationally and whatnot. If you got something just recently from a Kickstarter, you know, chances are maybe good that you can, you know, email Simon and get a replacement. So anyway, that's the PSA for the day. That's the news. Coming up, our review and discussion of the Zombicide 2nd Edition Kickstarter and expansions. All right, go ahead, Schmedley stats.
Sure, I have the stats here. Zombicide 2nd Edition is, of course, a game by Raphael Gouteau, Jean-Baptiste Lullian, and Nicolas Raoul. It had its campaign ran from October through November of 2019, during which it had 21,735 backers and raised a little under $3.5 million. Over on Board Game Geek, it had a score of 7.9 with 4,500 reviews, which puts the core game just above the average score for Zombicide games. When it comes to the Kickstarter exclusive Reboot box, it got a score of 8.4, which makes it second place just after X-Men Resistance. Previously, when we reviewed it, Gotham City Outbreak was tied for first with 8.5, but it's since fallen to 8.1, which makes the Reboot box now the second highest rated Zombicide product of the large boxes. I don't track like the little character packs. So I thought that was pretty cool. Maybe we could take a look at it, see what's so good about it.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When you say Reboot box, do you mean 2nd Edition or the literal Reboot box?
The Kickstarter box.
Okay.
Is that not the Reboot box?
That's what it calls. It's called the Reboot box.
Yeah. So you're saying
All
the
right,
Reboot?
you had me second guess for a second.
Yeah, you're talking about the Reboot box. Its rating is higher than that was the rating you're talking about. Okay, got it. And then what's the 2nd Edition core game rating again?
7.9.
Wow, crazy.
That's really high.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of Zombicide is pretty good. Like I said, 7.9 is just above the average. The average is like 7.6. Like people like the game.
People like the game.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised the shift in DC Gotham City Outbreak was such a shift.
It was very new when we talked about it last.
Yeah, recency bias, right?
Yeah.
Get myself zoomed in here. All right, so we're taking a look at the 2nd Edition Kickstarter. Get this thing moved over. Sorry. To edit that part. All right, so we're looking at the 2nd Edition Kickstarter page here. And we just kind of use this to help us sort of, navigate how to discuss this whole monster of a thing. So the second edition Kickstarter included, let's see. Actually, let me go and zoom out a little bit more so I could see.
I still can't believe we found out last episode that this doesn't take place a year later. I've thought that since this game came out.
Yeah, I mean, like that was certainly a big thing when they did the Kickstarter for Prison Outbreak. I was also wondering if that's what you were thinking.
I don't know. It also just seems like these characters just look like they fought more zombies than the art. I guess it's just an art style thing. I don't know.
Funny.
Yeah, they're definitely veteran zombie hunters at this point. Like maybe even past their ultimate, survivor modes.
Yeah. Okay, Zombicide is back. New art, new minis, new expansions with new gameplay, and on top of everything else, a role-playing game. I'm glad I read that because I forgot that was part of the thing. So there was a nostalgic pledge, $40, and I just want to upgrade my old stuff to second edition. So there was second edition plastic dashboard set, second edition Survivor ID cards upgrade pack. There was also a role player pledge for $50. You can get Zombicide Chronicles, a role playing game core book, Zombicide Chronicles Game Master Screen, and all applicable stretch goals. The Reboot pledge is $100. Zombicide second edition core box. Phil the cop, who is a promo survivor, and all stretch goals. Presidential pledge $140. Included second edition core Washington DC Phil and stretch goals, and all out. The only way I know how to pledge for a thing. $180. Board game, RPG, I want it all. Washington DC.
Was $180. We've
$180
fallen so far,
right?
Well, that doesn't include the optional buys.
That's true. But that does seem like, second edition core box, Washington DC, role-playing game, Game Master Screen, Phil, and all stretch goals. So let's look at some more of the page here. Okay,
if you don't mind, Ryan, I just want to say that I think it's absolutely awesome that for all the people that really didn't want more miniatures and all that kind of stuff, but wanted the new rules, that they offered, new stuff for $40. That seems like a really reasonable price to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, I know you're about to talk about it, but let's just think about this in context. For $100, you got the base game plus another 79 miniatures. I mean, that's pretty darn good for $100.
Yeah. That's insanely good.
I talked about it last time, but I think as far as, which probably contributes to its board game geek score, I think the Reboot box remains like the single best expansion. And like the only thing stopping me from recommending it as people's first expansion is how hard it is to come by now. Like it's a great box. Yeah.
I think on the Kickstarter like homepage or campaign page, I guess you should call it, you don't see the Reboot box itself because they usually add that in as a stretch goal. It might have been a
stretch goal, yeah.
But ultimately, it's kind of what they show at the top-ish of the page. What you get: Reboot pledge, $100. 6 plastic dashboards, 48 plastic pegs and 6 dice, 6 counter bases, 9 double-sided. I don't have to read all this, but like James said, it's 79 more miniatures.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a bunch more cards.
You get an extra 39 survivors, 9 abominations, and 31 daily spawn zombies. That's the important stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're looking for. And really wild out there abominations. We're going to go into some more.
That's
there's the Reboot
right
box.
there, Ryan.
That's right. Yeah. So another almost core game sized box that you can stack on top and display proudly, as some people do.
And, I've heard comments before from people that say I don't do the Kickstarter stuff because I can't afford it, but I don't understand how you can't afford it. Like if you're going to spend $100 at retail on a game, how can you not afford $100 and get an extra 79 miniatures for free?
Yeah.
Like where's the? I don't understand that.
Well, I mean, it might depend on a couple of things, right? Like it might depend on what kind of retail buyer you are. Some people are going to wait for a deal. Some people just wait for, your typical discounted Amazon or miniature market price that's like 20-30% less than that. And then also a lot of people are very sensitive to shipping prices or unknown shipping prices or unknown shipping price changes.
Especially like what is it in Europe? That
Yeah.
you got to deal with some kind of extra thing.
Yeah. Like I see a lot of people on Discord, they're like, yeah, I'm in New Zealand, so no thanks, because it's going to be like the same amount as the whole pledge would be, so kind of thing. But yeah, in general, I like to, I justify in my mind, like it's the same price, you get all this extra stuff. So yeah, I definitely hear where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about... Actually, yeah, let's just go over what all the different things are real quick, and then we could deep dive into like starting with the survivors. So there's a presidential pledge. The first ever, is it the first ever Zombicide campaign box for any Zombicide, right?
Yes. Yeah, this was a new thing they were doing.
Yeah, so you could finally actually play all 10 or whatever plus missions in the box out of the book as one cohesive story, and you carry over progress from mission to mission. So it's something that people have been asking for a long time, and something a lot of customizers have been making for a long time. And they finally officially made it, and it was pretty cool. It was very cool that they made it. As far as like how people liked it or not, I don't know. Who here's actually played campaigns?
I've played ZC, yeah, but that's the only one. I think I have all of them, but I've only played ZC. It's such an investment,
Yeah.
I mean, an investment in good times?
It is good times.
Yeah.
It's just like we played those 3 mission campaigns for like in the web for like Invader and stuff. That was awesome. They should do more of that. But 10 missions, it's hard to convince my group of game players to like commit to a game for 10 missions,
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do our own episode. Like, we plan on doing an episode because this is a big box expansion, Washington, D.C. and Fort Hendricks. They're going to get their own episodes, so we get to go into dive in deep on them. I just wanted to say real quickly that I started each of those and played a few missions in, but I was playing solo. And that's kind of a lot with the 6 survivors and the new rules. And like you get more abilities as you go, so there's a lot to keep track of as a solo player.
Yeah, the idea is very cool. I mean, I even just the components. I love that the objectives like kind of look like the tiles, and they can get away with that because they don't reuse the objectives.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, rather than using objective tokens, there's objective cards, and then they provide some story.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the key thing to remember too is that, like, if you're like, oh, I'm like allergic to campaigns, I can't do that. You could theoretically just be like, we're doing Zombicide and we're going to do this mission, kind of like Cthulhu Death May Die. You're choosing an episode. You don't have to roll the same new characters in. You can kind of start over just like you would with any scenario and just use them. Because, again, those cards are super cool to have the objectives on the map, and they have a little bit of that emergent story mixed with some of the story that's kind of there with the cards. I think it's super cool and shouldn't be overlooked just because it says the word campaign on it.
Yeah, and to your point, Jason, there's a few minor details that prohibit that just because of the campaign achievements, but that's pretty easily solved by just rolling a dice, and on a 4 or 5 or 6 you have it, and on a 1 through 3 you don't, and just play it that way. I mean, it's not going to make you lose or win any one particular mission, whether or not you have a particular campaign achievement that you gained from a previous mission.
Right. Yeah, I've played through Washington and Fort Hendricks and a lot of Rio, and haven't started Paris yet, but it's one of my favorite ways to play Zombicide 2nd Edition. So definitely don't overlook it just because it looks like it's a big commitment or something. It's not that much harder to set up, I would say. Would you guys agree? Like,
no, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like a tad more.
I would say for the groups that I play with, while all my groups like playing with the campaigns, I think the number one thing they take out of it is the keep mechanic. Or rather the break mechanic, not the keep mechanic, but the break mechanic. Almost everybody, once they get used to the idea of I can gain something, but I can also lose something, it brings out the gambling nature of the players, and it's kind of fun to see who will do it and who won't. So it's just another aspect of the game that's fun.
And one more thing I wanted to say about the campaigns is what I like is, well, one of my favorite things about like Zombicide games, any games that have tons of expansions, and it's just like you could play this expansion as we made it, or you just take any of the component or some of the components and just throw it into your regular game and mash it up how you want to. I love that about games. Like I love that since like Descent, Journeys in the Dark, and Star Wars Imperial Assault, like from Fantasy Flight Games, you know, where you get new monster and packs or you get new expansions, you throw in the monsters, you throw in the heroes, and it's just more variety. I love that, and I love that that same thing has gone on in Zombicide games for years and years and years. And then, however, I love that with these boxes, I actually keep these contained, like the expansion or the campaign expansions. I don't even use any of that stuff unless I'm playing that thing, and it helps make that a unique and tailored experience. Because, you know, all the extra blue abilities that come with those, the heroes or the survivors in Washington D.C., etc., they're unique, you know, to the all-out mechanics and all that. So I just keep it in there, and then that makes that experience kind of that much more special, and I like it that way. Keeps my collection a little more tame. Moving down the page, there's the role player pledge. So this is where the RPG comes into play. Zombicide Chronicles is what it's called, and then there's another book, Stories from the Outbreak. And then there's a game master screen, some pre-made character sheets, and some big old XP dials. First time we saw these show up. Did anybody else get the role-playing game? I got it.
I have everything for it. I thumbed through the rules, but I haven't played a single game. But...
No, this is what keeps me from getting the all-out pledge.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never played RPG. I would never play an RPG. I don't have friends that play RPG, so why spend the extra $50?
There's the nostalgic pledge. It's $40. It's got the plastic dashboards, so you can throw away those old gigantic honking character ID cards, and you can slide in these new ones, including all the gear and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a lot, man. 6 dashboards, 124 upgraded ID cards. That's survivors. 40 standard zombie cards, 6 starting equipment cards, 6 counter bases, 40 apex. So that is, again, super cool.
You could have sold me that in 2017. If they had just put that out in 2017, I would have bought that for $40.
Right? Yeah, why'd they wait so long?
I don't know.
But yeah, I feel like they did it right. They did a really good job with that.
Yeah, that's a great option.
Yeah. The optional buys that they had here were the role player pledge, the travel edition of Zombicide, which admittedly I was like, oh, I kind of want it, but I don't know if I'll ever use it. Like, really? And so
I kind of regret not having it.
I know, like I passed on it, and it's like, I'll get it at retail when it's like half price, or, you know, it's discounted severely because nobody's buying it. Turns out, I guess not enough people backed it, or, you know, added it. So they were like, yeah, let's not put it on at retail.
Yeah.
Or very, very limited.
It'd be a funny little thing to have. I probably would still never play it, but it would be a cool thing.
So I'm in that boat now because I got it some months ago. Finally found a decent deal for it. Wasn't too much more than this, the $50, which is still kind of a lot, actually, honestly. I think $50 is too much.
For a game, just to have it, yeah.
Yeah, because
I've seen it on eBay for $150. So if you had bought this on your pledge and resold it, you could have paid for your pledge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Yeah. But who would know, right? Who would know that for sure? So yeah, I think it's cool. It's like really friggin' cute, honestly, like how tiny everything is. It's like, oh, it's tiny versions of what I used to. It's quite charming when I cracked open the box the 2 whole times that I did to sort of look at it, but it's also like, it's not that travel friendly. Like the dice.
There's so many pieces.
Yeah, there's so many tiny little pieces.
You try and play that on like a hotel room bed, you're losing something.
Oh,
like
yeah. Yeah, try to play it on an airplane because it's travel and it has an airplane on the cover. Forget it. Because like the dice, you know, Jason was saying like before off mic, like you know, that it's cool that, or it's, what were you saying? You say it, Jason. What were you saying about the dice and the stuff?
Well, I was just asking if anyone had played it because it does look cool. It's just so unique of an item that they've made. I think it was James or Schmedley that was talking about the dice, how they were unique. I actually didn't realize that they were not normal dice included. As you can see, I clearly haven't looked into it all that much.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, you know how picky I am about dice, and seeing those little dice, I was just turned off completely. Nope, can't do it.
So
Sorry.
yeah, the dice are like on the, they're fixed to the side of the board, and they're on like a little rail or something, and then you just like flick, you spin them like little spinner dice, and that's interesting. And there's only 3 on each side, so that's also interesting. I didn't think about before. Should have had at least 5 or 6.
No chainsaws for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Have to re-roll them.
Anyway, like, yeah, if I ever get around to playing this, I will definitely report to you guys about that. Y'all be the first to know how that went.
We should definitely do an episode on it.
I mean, it's, yeah. It's too
That'd
tempting.
be funny, yeah.
It's
We've
too
done
tempting.
episodes where I don't have it. But
Yeah, I know. It'll just be me. That'd be sad.
episodes where nobody does.
No, but we also all have to record from like vacation locales.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
travel Zombicide, so
Yeah.
you can
All
take
in
it to the
hotel
beach
rooms.
or
And it does have miniatures. For all the miniatures, they're just really, really, really tiny. And I'm really tempted to just paint them because it'd be a fun challenge.
They
That's
still
racist
could have
to
gotten
think
away with like little meeples. I gotta respect that they actually made little models for everything.
Yeah. And the zombie miniatures are actually 1E, like first edition versions of them.
love it.
Yeah, the Abomination and all the walkers and runners and all of it. Now the survivors, I forget. I'll have to pull it out and let you know next time. All right, another optional buy, Fort Hendricks. It's interesting that you could only get this as an optional buy, but it is the second campaign expansion.
They were so confident in the idea that they went all in with 2 of them right off the bat.
Well, and they made it retail available as well.
Yeah, and it truly was retail. However, there was
Although it says Kickstarter exclusive, but it's still available for retail. I don't.
Oh no, this is just for Gabriel right here.
Oh, I see.
So Gabriel was like that long lost survivor. James, I'm sure you know all about it. Tell us.
Well, actually, I don't know why it got lost, but we first saw him in the volume 2 of the Zombicide Classic Compendium back from 2015, I want to say. You were supposed to get him kind of like Kyoko as a reward for putting in a great mission or whatever, but for whatever reason, it didn't pan out. And so now we finally get him.
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, and he's totally modeled after Christian Bale from, what's that movie called?
Equilibrium, I think.
Yeah, that's the inspiration for this guy. So yeah, when he showed up in this campaign, it was like, oh my God, it's Gabriel finally, because everybody that is a complete psycho that has like a list in a spreadsheet of all the survivors and making sure they have all of them always had Gabriel on their list too, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, where is he? Where can I get him? So it's cool they did that.
You say psycho, I say chronicler. Somebody who chronicles.
You're right. Chronicler is much more of a PC term. Does it bother anybody else? Slight weird nitpick that like the tank is in Washington D.C. but not in Fort Hendricks. Yeah, there's like a tank car.
I did notice that
Token thing.
Yeah. I don't think it's just broken down on the lawn, right?
Yeah, there's a Humvee token, and then there's
yeah.
the tank that's the actual tile. But yeah, I mean, a tank belongs in a fort as well.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. There's the Humvee, and that's cool. They also had
Daily Zombie was cool. Did any of you ever use them with like house rules?
Oh, like
That's a really
rules?
good point, Schmedley. This to me is one of the biggest failings of this entire Kickstarter, is that they come up with all these rules for all these zombies, and they come up with all these cool sculpts, but yet they give you no clear-cut way how they're supposed to interact in the game.
I believe these are suggested house rules. I don't think these are like actual rules. They're like these are meant for you to make up your own stuff for. Here's like some examples. But it does seem like it's presented like this is what you should do.
And how did you not get a deck of cards to spawn them with?
Yeah.
Like that seems a clear miss.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's come back to that. So we're doing the overview. We'll dive in on all the zombies and stuff.
Oh, sure.
They had the Chronicles Survivor set. That was a set of a ton more survivors.
From
For the
the
RPG.
role-playing, yeah.
Yeah, you could play it. You could play them in the role playing game, or you could play them in just second edition. So that was cool.
I don't think I've ever played any of these guys. Have you?
I have not.
Probably.
They're actually, I don't even have this box set painted. But I can say
Scoff.
that I'm absolutely very happy that they didn't make you buy the RPG book to get these characters.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the set of characters. There's some of the more fun ones that I've played with. I really enjoy a lot of those ones.
Yeah, I really like the designs. The character designs are great.
Yeah.
They've got a guy with a
And then their
bicycle. They've got a guy in a wheelchair. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, and the abilities are really great. They are well done. They're a little maybe overpowered, much like some of the ones from the Reboot box, which I know we'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, they're super fun to use, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's Urban Legends.
I always thought it was interesting that this was part of the Kickstarter because we talked about last time how the core box abominations are so like bland and underwhelming. So it kind of makes it seem like maybe they got weirder over time, but no, like plenty of super interesting abominations available day one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's great about this set is it's a retail set, so in theory anybody can get it. And also it has some of the more powerful, dangerous skills out of any of the abominations included in this Kickstarter. So yeah, there are some dangerous ones in the Reboot box, but this one is also full of dangerous abominations as well.
There's also the extra players upgrade set. If everyone plays 7 to 12 players, you can with this set because it also comes with the dashboards, the rings, the pegs, and the rings and pegs are different colors. So if you want to shake that up, just on its own, that's cool. And then that's
the most important part of the box.
Yeah, I thought you might feel that way. And a set of 6 more starting equipment cards. So you're really all set to go. So you did get this, James?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Anybody else get this? Anybody else crazy enough to be like, I'm going to play 7 to 12 players one day?
No. I have the extra tile set, which we can see. I told that story in our first episode that a friend spilled beer on my first edition and then accidentally bought me the second edition tile set to replace them.
It's great.
Well, once or twice a year, I do play with more than 6 people. The more important part of this is the different colored pegs and rings. It's not the extra dashboards and starting weapons.
Yeah, I always
Man has to have options.
Yeah.
That's right. I always get these just in case because I'm always afraid that if there's ever a time that I will need it and I don't have it, that they'll be impossibly difficult to find or impossibly expensive, prohibitively expensive on the second market kind of thing. So yeah,
it's really fascinating to hear you guys all talk about all this stuff because this was well before I'd ever played even my first game of Zombicide. So I was not around during the second edition Kickstarter.
I bought my pledge later, so this was before I actually pledged during crowdfunding, but I did get a full pledge.
Yeah.
Well, and also if anybody's feeling left out about the extra players upgrade set, it's the exact same dashboards that are in Army of the Dead. So if you've got that box, you've got 6 extra dashboards.
There you go.
I was thinking.
As long as you don't mind them being pink.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you'll just be missing out on with starting gear, like 6 more starting gear cards, but you can get creative. Let's see. Field Guide to Zombicide RPG, tile set, metal dice. I did not get the metal dice, and every now and then I think, should I go on eBay and get the metal dice? I was just like, it's going to dent my table or my tiles, depending on where they're rolled, and they're really expensive. $28 for a set of 6 gold and 6 silver metal dice. Who has the metal dice?
Watch out, James. There's 1 and 6 art.
I'll give you guys one guess if you think I have these dice.
All right.
Who could possibly tell which one is the zombie head and which one is the Molotov?
I just saw this yesterday, and I'm glad this came up because in the official Rue Morgue book by Simon, not Asmodee, Sneak that in. They have a little something to say about dice.
Do tell.
And I should have bookmarked it. Hang on.
James
Hang
was
on.
a prophet. He was right.
Yeah. Page 17.
Okay. Crawlers can appear each time Skinners are eliminated. After removing Skinner zombies, whatever the type, Walker, blah, 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 rolled 1 on the attack roll of your own Zombicide. Okay. If you own Zombicide themed dice, the 1 is replaced with a zombie head.
Whoa.
Read only the dice results, blah, 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 etc., etc. They answered your question, James, officially.
Sweet.
The 1 is the zombie head. They didn't say what the
Who
6
would
was,
have
though.
guessed? It could be any of these.
Yeah, could be any of them. So anyway, so nobody has the metal dice?
No.
Now I extra want to get the metal dice. How much are they on eBay?
I don't
right
have
now?
a whole lot of the spare dice. I think the first time I was really interested in the spare dice was Deceased.
Yeah. There's Danny. I'm going to zip through so we can come back around. Maybe this isn't the best format, but Danny Trejo set. That's so awesome. They got 3D cars finally. They got more
3D
zombie
cars.
soldiers.
Pretty
There's
rad.
all out dice, and there's the zombie and companions upgrade kit. We talked about the upgrade kits quite a bit last time. That's the stuff. Let's deep dive into the survivors though.
Sure.
So 88 miniatures.
We did these 12.
Yeah, we talked about the 6 adult survivors and the 6 kid survivors that came in the core box. And then
You guys have Oh, you were just doing survivors, sure.
Yeah. Washington
This is
ZC.
part of ZC. You want to touch on them now?
I mean, we kind of discussed Washington ZC a bit. Was there anything else you wanted to add? So we're not taking
I just
away
didn't know
too
if there's
much?
anything specifically about the survivors you wanted to say.
No, not really. There's 6 of them, and they're cool.
Yeah, there you go. That's all you need.
Yeah. Let's see. Scrolling down the page. God, there's a lot. Talked about Phil a little bit last time.
I bet the Washington ZC survivors don't get played very much since it came with the presidential box. And why wouldn't
Yeah.
you play with those? That's much funnier.
Yeah, do you guys mix in your Washington ZC or Fort Hendricks or any of the campaign survivors into your regular games, at all?
I mean, I just have a big master stack of survivor cards, so people run through that and pick whatever. So I mean, they've shown up occasionally.
Okay, so you do include them in there.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
If I'm not playing with the break dice, I don't include any of the characters that come from the campaign boxes.
Yeah, I
That's
go
fair.
I go that way too, James. I just keep it special inside of their own boxes because of their all-out break dice mechanic thing.
All out dice is the way to go.
Ooh.
Yep.
I mean, here are the daily spawns. You want to talk more about them now?
Actually, what am I doing? Oh, I'm dizzy. Scrolling down this pencil.
You're really looking for these survivors. I don't know.
I am,
yeah.
but I have them right here, like a fool. Totally forgot. So I'm the guy that started this giant comparisons of survivors and zombies to real life. And I should have named this pop culture references for survivors. I got them all. I started this thread on Board Game Geek. Here's all of them. I don't know if I want to name every one of them.
I mean, we could.
I'm
scroll
curious
through
about
quickly
how you
and-
came up with a couple of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just see
So
how this
scroll
goes.
through. I mean, those are obvious. I'll
Let me
stop
just-
you when we get to one.
Let me just name them off real quick, see how this goes. Okay, so Logan is Anthony Bourdain. Carter is Bill Murray, specifically from Broken Flowers. Now, I started this thread. It was definitely a community effort because people were amazing at being like, oh, this is Bill Murray from the movie Broken Flowers because he's wearing that jumpsuit. This is pretty incredible. We got Big Devil Lehman, Ron Perlman as Clay in Sons of Anarchy. We got Gil Pinky Pink as Peter Baelish from Game of Thrones. We got Clarice, Serena Williams, the tennis player. Doria, Molly Shannon playing Mary Catherine Gallagher, the classic SNL character. Leah is Carol Ann from Poltergeist 2.
Yeah, that's one I'd like to stop at.
Yeah.
I'm curious where the people came up with that because based on her story and her look, other than she's being a blonde girl, I don't see it.
Yeah, so this is me. I put this together. It doesn't mean it's, by the way, none of this doesn't mean any of it's right. But I just thought it looked an awful lot like her because she's a little blonde girl and she has a rainbow on her shirt. it just looked strikingly similar to me. So that's what I went with.
Sure.
That's yeah. But hey, if anybody knows if there's actually a better match for that pop culture reference, please tell us. Lil Will, Waka Flocka Flame rapper. That's cool. I never heard of him. People were like, no, that's this guy. Because I put somebody else before. Luke the Lightning. Owen, I like the Lightning reference because he's like Luke Wilson or Owen Wilson, excuse me. That's probably why they named him Luke. Played Lightning McQueen, the voice of in the Cars movies, and yeah, he's from Marley and Me. People were like, Marley and Me is wearing that same-ish shirt and blue jeans. Sounds interesting. I got 2 good candidates for the Queen. She kind of looks like she could be Diana Ross in this specific outfit from this one specific picture from wherever. And she also kind of looks like Anna Diapis Starfire in Titans, the DC Titans series. So it's really interesting. Like they both got the necklace and they're both got, furry, fuzzy coats and big curly hair. So yeah.
Was Titans out? Is there an older Titans?
This list was put together during the campaign. Like as a maniac,
okay.
I was like getting up every morning and
I'm
working on this list.
Series, then.
Yeah, I was working really hard like every day as the stretch goals came out. It was fun. It was a fun time. The swimmer, I love the swimmer because he's the Plants vs. Zombie swimmer, obviously, which is great. We got the Mummy, who's Mumra from Thundercats before the Thundercats packs came out.
I kind of thought he was just a mummy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I like to think of him as Mumra.
Yeah. Well, you're wrong, and you should feel bad.
I should, and I do. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are like, there's some people on the Reddit who they're a big fan of all these like Star Wars characters being related, and other people are like, can't people just be like regular, like not connected to the Skywalker line?
Oh, I know, right? Whoops. And then Billy is Miley Cyrus when she was in her weird twerking phase.
The Wrecking Ball era.
Yeah, Wrecking Ball era twerking phase.
I think some of these are more obvious than others.
Yeah, that one's a little on the nose.
We got Tom Cruise with like a collage of just a ton of movies of him pointing a gun, like a 9mm or whatever pistol that is.
Wait, hang on here, Ryan. I thought the Hunter was supposed to be like the Terminator from the Terminator movies. That's always the vibe I got.
Oh, nice.
Model, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, Ethan Hunter. It's kind of.
There you go.
I think he's supposed to be Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible movies.
Oh, nice.
The spends the whole movies hunting after people, but that works too. Either way.
Well, Ethan Hunt isn't the Mission Impossible movies. Tom Cruise is the Mission Impossible movies.
Excuse me? What?
Ethan Hunt is the character that Tom Cruise plays as.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's why he's called Hunter.
Right.
He's Ethan Hunt.
What isn't there an actor named Ethan Hunt? Who am I thinking of?
Ethan Hawke?
Ethan Hawke.
Sure. Yeah, that's an actor.
Wow.
And he's also a handsome man, so I could see where you'd confuse that.
There you go. Then we got
actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Holy cow, that's funny.
Yes, it is. And he's not naked in this picture. He's wearing really just kind of flesh-colored shorts in a picture here from a different music video. But I think that's where they got the inspiration for the pose. For anybody who's not,
I guess YouTube.
Yeah, everybody who's not seen the YouTube video, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf, it's a great song and music video and weird and fun. It's a good time, good wholesome fun.
Very weird.
If you're really curious about like this other shot of Shia LaBeouf that was kind of taken as like an inspiration for the pose, I think it's like a Sia or Sia. How do you spell it? S-I-A, like the artist. Music video with him. He's just in it, and it's just stuff. It's a good song too. Okay, we got Hudson, Keanu Reeves as John Wick, but this time he's got a cat.
Fun story about that one. That character I ran through one of my campaigns, and he had this one sniper rifle that I kept rolling the break dice on after every mission, and that sniper rifle lasted half the campaign. So he spent like every mission just out in the streets just sniping down zombies. It was like so memorable. Every time I see the miniature now that I've painted, I think of that story. Like that's his story.
Yeah.
And super fun.
I played with him in a mission yesterday, and his blue skill, escalation combat.
Right.
He's, I think I haven't played all the survivors, but so far he's, I think, the best one in the game. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Escalation combat is insane. I just want to say what that is real quick.
Isn't that the one where they get extra dice?
Yeah, the survivor gains 1 extra die to roll for consecutive actions of the specified type. The bonus is cumulative and is lost whenever another type of action is performed.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, he had this crazy sniper rifle, and I just left him in the streets so he could target so many different zones. It was just nuts.
Yeah.
Because you'd roll a small amount of dice. Those sniper rifles often like 2 or 3 dice or whatever, right? And he'd be rolling like 5 dice by the time he got like an extra action and a free combat action or whatever. I feel like he had later on.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Rolling 1 extra die for every consecutive attack that you do, type of attack that you do. It's so good. So good. Jay is Robin Williams, and it's fun. There's a lot of little Easter egg tributes here on his person for this. So he's got like the oh my god, what is this thing
Patch
called?
Adams stethoscope.
The stethoscope. You said, what did you say? It was a certain kind of stethoscope?
Well, it's from Patch Adams.
Yeah, Patch Adams. Okay, I didn't hear you say it right. I didn't hear it right. There's like the Mork and Mindy, like rainbow strap.
And the Mork symbol for the bag, his red bag, is like his uniform.
Oh yeah. There's like a Captain Hook sticking out of it. A Pinocchio.
The Popeye. Don't forget the Popeye.
Oh yeah.
Pipe.
Popeye pipe. What else? Maybe there's like spinach coming out of here.
or the green stuff could be flubber.
Oh yeah. Probably flubber. I wonder what the glasses reference is.
Drawing a blank.
Yeah. There's like a dice here. There's like a little microphone here. It's probably Good Morning Vietnam. Yeah. It's just like the more you look at it, the more references you'll find. And it's like a great tribute. Robin Williams, the legend. All right. Who else we got? Solana is totally Sofia Vergara. Best known for what's the show? My brain doesn't work very good at this hour. Modern Family.
I can definitely see it. I just don't know why. Like, there's nothing about her backstory or other than her look. I'm not as familiar with Sofia Vergara, so I just couldn't figure this one out without help for sure.
Yeah, like often they'll put references to their name or their description that help kind of solidify that pop culture reference. But I mean, this likeness, I mean, come on. But why? Who knows? Just another popular actress, at least at the time. Stone Cold Mason is Stone Cold Steve Austin, the wrestler. And someone had found a picture of him holding that ball-peen hammer. So I'm like, all right. And wearing that shirt. So I was like, all right, let's stick it on there. Because a lot of people were saying, like, this looks like The Rock.
Sure.
And he does. But the other things are like, okay, this has got to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. Or maybe it's a combination.
Yeah, I mean, because also you've got The Rock doing the remake of Walking Tall. That's kind of where I thought he was more based off of, was this character from Walking Tall.
We got Carol, who I thought was a Sarah Connor from the newest Terminator, or at the time, newest Terminator, Dark Fate. By the time you're listening, there's probably 6 more Terminator films.
Sure.
Oh, I didn't realize.
And 3 TV shows.
Yeah. Bam Byron, that pose is taken right off of a Childish Gambino music video. Childish Gambino, the rapper, aka Donald Glover, known from Community, or Lando from Solo. Nico, he's a Nicola I don't know how to pronounce his last name, CEO of a game company called Need Games. So that's cool that there's a tribute here. And I like the dog. Bad Abomination, more DC fandom, as we see often in these Zombicide games. There's some big DC fans over there in the Simon Creative Group.
I'm surprised it took him so long to do Deceased.
Yeah, right? The Greenwich Crew, totally the Village people. Super fun. Johnny Law, aka now Jackie Chan. Even found a picture that he was wearing a similar kind of outfit. So that's interesting. Then go into some presidents. There's Bill Clinton. I don't have the rest of them here, but you can tell really easily who all the presidents are. John Doe, Matt Damon is Jason Bourne in the Bourne film series. I like the name is John Doe too. That's fun. Liv, Judi Dench as M in the James Bond films. Danny Trejo's in this game. Danny Trejo's in this game twice.
Whoa.
Yeah. Of course, there's the history of him being El Cholo from the very first campaign a million years ago, and then actually being Danny Trejo. So you have a bunch of different versions of Danny Trejo you can play as.
I think he also holds the record for most Zombicide miniatures.
Oh, definitely. He's got to. That'll be a list for a future episode. Her Royal Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II. Laura Winona Ryder as Joyce Byers in Stranger Things. It's a fun one. A lot of references on her. Dale John Belushi in Animal House.
That was another one that I thought was kind of iffy.
Really?
Not that I have a better idea. It didn't seem quite as obvious to me.
Well, he's got
I mean, he's wearing virtually the same outfit.
Yeah, and he's got the leafy headset here.
Yeah, I guess that's hard for me to see.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell about that on the miniature.
Let me just zoom in here a little more. There goes the leaf. There's some leaves on his head.
There you go. Okay.
I can see him now.
I see a green pixel.
Yeah. Yeah, and like also just the shorts being the same plaid kind of pattern, different color. Of course, they've got to change things a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. Oops. Zoom back out. The Prime Minister, Winston Churchill. I don't know the dog's name. I didn't put it on here.
Aww.
Oh, who do you think President 43 is?
President 43, George W. Bush, W, in his cool bomber jacket. We got Lanky Man, a.k.a. Slender Man.
Slender Man is kind of a weird inclusion.
Kind of weird,
like
but
a modern day horror figure, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
But I'm into it, yeah. Uh-oh. Peter Baelish got in here twice. He would do that, wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky little guy. Felix, John Cena.
Where is he?
It's a good time. Oops, I get a couple duplicates here. President 40, Ronald Reagan. There's even a matching outfit of him in a, what do they call these? Canadian tuxedo. And an axe. Mona as Oprah. Oprah Winfrey. Hayden as Neil deGrasse Tyson. Everybody's favorite astrophysicist. This is funny. So I thought Smitty looked just like Frank from Shameless, like this very, just this character, this down in the dumps drug addict or alcoholic character in that show Shameless. And people are like, no, that's Adrian Smith, the artist that works at CMON. I'm like, whoops. So I thought it was funny to keep including it here because I always wondered if like anybody at CMON saw that and was like, oh boy. Yeah. It's pretty good resemblance though. Honest mistake. This is maybe a stretch. I thought that this robber, the runner zombie robber, looked just like Beachhead from the G.I. Joe movie. We got President 16, Abraham Lincoln. Sumo wrestler is E. Honda from Street Fighter. Stylist and clerk are Penn and Teller, the Magicians. Bruin is Macaulay Culkin as Kevin in Home Alone. Lizzie Rebel Wilson as Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect. Bear Man Boar, Man Bear Pig. Enough said. Bagby, Ozzy Osbourne. Grace, Ellen DeGeneres. Andrea, RuPaul, the drag queen. Before RuPaul was just a regular fashion man like he is today on whatever shows he's on now. Gabriel, we talked about before.
Right.
Christian Bale. And finally, Isaac, Jason Momoa.
I'd like to know if anyone who is not watching these video is actually just listening to you list off all those names.
I know it might be terrible. I might have to edit
that was quite the list.
It was. Yeah. So I was saying before he started, like, let's just see how this goes.
Yeah, we kind of did this.
What did we end up doing before?
Yeah, first time we did this, and Ryan said that we named too many names. We had to go back and record it. So hopefully we don't have to do that now.
Yeah, we recorded it 3 different ways last time, and then I ended up just kind of super editing it all to be as tight as I could, and it seemed to turn out okay.
Sure. Yeah.
That said, does anybody have any ideas for, like, I don't know, does anybody want to call out favorites at all? Pick a
I
top
was just going to talk about the characters I played with in the mission.
and then name
we
them
talk
off
about
from
the
there.
missions we played with.
Yeah,
Makes
the like pop
sense.
culture references, I've never been super like I guess in Invader some of them were kind of fun. But
Yeah.
usually I'm more in about the skills and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Some of my favorites I already mentioned. Hudson, Mason was another standout I had run through another campaign. I want to say, I'm forgetting because my wife played as, I want to say if it's Solana, who has like, one of them has this ability that you can pull out all the different zombie cards that you're going to spawn at the beginning of the spawn round, and you can decide where they go. And that, I know she really enjoyed that ability because it really kind of helped manage some of the zombies, especially because, again, we're playing with the dogs and all those crazy things that can really end your game really fast. So that was always a really fun one, I think, that she enjoyed playing as.
Nice.
Yeah, distributor is a good skill.
That's cool. I haven't played with that skill yet.
Is that, am I getting the right person, James? Is that her ability?
I'm sorry, who did you say had distributor?
I think Solana.
She might. So that was a skill that they first invented with season 3, Rue Morgue, because of the way that you spawn zombies there was you randomly determine where they were. So it became really important to be able to control that. It's funny that you say that your wife likes it so much because it's the complete opposite whenever I'm just playing with my wife. Typically when we play games, she's the one drawing the zombie cards. And so if I have a character with a distributor, then I might as well just be drawing the zombie cards. And so that kind of gives her nothing to do. So typically I don't choose characters that have distributor when I'm playing just with her. If I'm playing with other groups, then yeah, it's a great skill.
Yeah, my wife likes drawing the cards too, so I think having that character allowed her to kind of like have another interesting decision about where they go.
Right. No, it's a great skill.
It is. That's a really interesting game mechanic. I never thought that they would do that, honestly, in a Zombicide game. It seems like it could be pretty game breaking.
It can definitely save your life. I mean, the minute you pull an extra activation, that's the first card you're playing. You know, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Schmedley, do you have a favorite survivor?
A favorite survivor? I mean, honestly, not really. In just the Kickstarter ones. I mean, I like I talked about it last episode. I liked Josh, but with the addition of the kids, I think he's a lot less cool to have Slippery. So, no is my answer.
You mean of all 100 whatever survivors, you didn't pick a favorite?
All of my favorite survivors are like the really wacky. You know, I'll say I like Ronald Reagan just because Ronald's ray gun is a wacky ass ability.
Mm-hmm.
Like infinite range, goes through walls, very fun.
Yeah.
Does anyone have that Danny Trejo set? I know we might talk about that a little bit more later, but since we're talking about all the references, yeah, I've been really tempted to pick that one up because it just looks super fun.
I don't want to talk about it because I want to do a whole podcast episode just about the Danny Trejo box set.
Oh, wow.
But no, obviously I'm drawn to it. I think, yeah, I love him as an actor. I love his characters in movies. And then the box set is really cool because not only does it give you this great survivor, but it also gives you a new zombie type and it gives you a new abomination type. And the abomination type is fierce. His character is cool. The Danny Trejo skill. So what I would say about that is when we first started playing second edition and we were just drawing the epic weapons from the epic weapon decks from the just core box game, and you'd pull, certain cards, they would seem really good. So then when we started adding in the ones from the Reboot box, you got Danny Trejo's machete. And so I'm sitting there thinking, oh, this is going to be really cool. And then its only special skill is like Danny Trejo gains an extra attack with another machete. I didn't bother to go and break open the Danny Trejo box to read the rule or look at it in the Reboot box. And by the way, The rules were stated in both of those places. But when you actually read the skill, I thought that item was like the worst item of all the epic weapons. I thought it was absolutely the weakest one. But when you actually read what the Danny Trejo skill does, it turns it into one of the best weapons that you could possibly get. It's just amazing when you put it in the hands of a good melee guy. You're just going to go through zombies like crazy.
Good to know.
Yeah, I think the Danny Trejo set is amazing. I think the Danny Trejo Walker and Abomination are terrifying, actually. Because there's a special Trejo set of spawn cards that come in this set. So it says when the spawn card comes out, do one of the following. 1, Trejo Abomination is on the board, 1 extra activation. Or 2, Trejo Walker is on the board, turns into a Trejo Abomination. Or 3, no Trejo Abomination or Trejo Walker is on the board, spawn a Trejo Walker. So, in other words, working backwards, if you pull this card and there's no Trejo out, enemy Trejo, then you put out a Walker. And if there is, then he turns into an Abomination. And if there's an Abomination, then that Abomination gets an extra activation. And I say it's scary because I don't know how many of these cards are, but there's enough that they come out a lot, and he will mess up your plans. Trejo Abomination does not mess around, except for with you in your brains. But yeah, because he deals 3 wounds. This guy, and it's 3 to eliminate, 5 points of adrenaline.
Yeah, he is challenging. You definitely want to target that walker as quick as you can. And once he's on the board, then he is a threat to be dealt with. If there's other abominations on the board, he's going to be numero uno. And you also want to start, huddling up, because if he does get to you and do a wound, you want to be able to spread those wounds out, and not kill a character, in one go if he gets to extra activate in your zone.
Yeah. That's funny too. I just noticed on this box is Danny Trejo, Badass Survivor and Zombie Set. And it's signed by him and everything.
Yeah, he is a badass survivor.
Yeah. So if it's to be found at a good deal, I think it's super worth it, because it's a really unique thing a very unique thing that they don't have anywhere else. Anything like this, where you have a set that's a walker that turns into an abomination that does all this stuff. It's really cool. And of course, the survivor.
Reminds me of that one from Thundercats set for fantasy, where the necromancer, I think, turns into an abomination. But this one sounds like a little bit more fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Albeit I'm biased because 2nd edition has become my favorite edition for whatever reason, because the gameplay is just super fun. So yeah.
Oh, and apparently he was limited quantities available at conventions, as noted here too. Trejo, not the Thundercats guy. I didn't know about that Thundercats one, so that's interesting. There's something that has like a similar mechanic to this. That's cool. Hey survivors, Ryan here. This is part 1 of this episode and review. Stay tuned for next episode for the next part as we continue our deep dive and discussion. Thanks again for listening to the Zombicide Fans podcast. Zombicide Fans is an unofficial podcast and is not affiliated with or endorsed by CMON or Guillotine Games. Thank you from your hosts, Ryan Messick, Schmedley Mayers, and James Fisher. And thanks to our special guest, Jason Pensa, plus our sponsor, BoardGameGoodies.shop, where listeners can save 10% with coupon code PODCAST. You can check out the show on all major podcast listening platforms and on YouTube. You can reach us at zombicidefans@gmail.com. The podcast is hosted at zombicidefans.com. Join our communities at the Zombicide Discord and the All Zombicide Games Facebook group. All links will be in the show notes. Until next time, survive.